Morning, guys. As promised, I've got a little smokehouse update here for you. It took longer than I wanted it to. I got a little sick there for a couple of days and couldn't get as much work done as I like. And this kind of stuff just takes longer than you think it's going to. That's the way life works. You think it's going to slap it together in an afternoon, and then it winds up taking a week. So, but here's the smokehouse. I got a little fire going in here. Normally, or the way this is supposed to work, and the way this will work eventually, is that this smokehouse will be mounted on a masonry foundation. I'm going to build a foundation 16 inches tall. It'll be over there with the rest of my grilling stuff. And then off to the side, 6-8 feet or so, you've got a little firebox, masonry firebox, wood stove, whatever, and then the flue is piped up into the bottom of the smokehouse. So that's the way that traditionally smokehouses work. Because I don't have time for that right now, I've got some deer loins that I'll talk about here in a minute that need to go in. I've had in the fridge for a couple of days. It's past time to get them in the smokehouse, and I've got some venison bacon that needs to go in. So because I needed the smokehouse now, didn't have time for all of that. I took a page out of my dad's playbook. When I was growing up, we had a small shed with an earthen floor. There was racks and hooks and everything all around the edge, and there was just a small fire pit right in the middle. And so when it come time to cure the bacons and do whatever else, then Dad would just go and he'd throw a couple chunks of cherry or whatever in the fire pit there, get a fire going. Your meat would hang around the edge, and that was how we smoked our meat. So I took a little idea from that. I have a small tire rim down here in the middle. I'll show you in a minute. And I've got some pecan chunks here. I've got some hickory in there, and I've got some oak scraps from the shop that I'll be burning just a couple chunks at a time. I don't want, the way it is, I'll probably have more heat than what's ideal. The purpose to have the firebox out the side is so that you don't have, this is supposed to be for cold smoking. You don't want to have high temperatures in your smokehouse. So even with this small fire down in the bottom, I'm probably going to have more heat than what I like, but we're just going to have to live with that for this round. And then by the next time, hopefully I'll have my little concrete slab and masonry foundation and firebox and all that built. So I built this thing out of solid oak. There's not a stitch of pine anywhere in this thing, and that there's nothing wrong with building with pine, especially if it's rough cut. I've seen where a lot of people have built them out of they go to Lowe's and fill up the cart with 2x4s and plywood and come home and slap together a smokehouse, and that's okay. For me, when I stick my head into a smokehouse, I want to smell oak and not plywood glue. That's just me. So I wanted real hardwood, and I wanted it to be rough cut, and I wanted it to be a real smokehouse. And I just wanted, that's the vibe. So close this up. Look at that shit. Isn't that beautiful? She's closed up. Here's the, I've got one in front, one in the back, these little vents, smoke holes. It's not super adjustable, but I don't need it to be super adjustable. I'm not coming out here every 30 minutes, or not planning to in the future. I'm not coming out here babying this thing. I want to be able to start a fire, hang my meat, go to work, come home that evening, put some more wood in the box, and I want my meat to basically smoke itself. So I'm not going to be coming out here every couple minutes adjusting the vent a little bit and monitoring temperatures. I do have some temperature probes coming. I do plan to put in a temperature probe up here and one down there, and that way, you know, that way I can see what the temperature is. If I'm way off, I'll know it. But other than that, like, I'm not worried about, you know, being exactly at 75 degrees no more, or 55, or whatever, you know, that number is. So there you have it. Smoke just billowing out of that hole, beautiful as you please. Let me show you the inside. Some heavy duty locks, top and bottom. Open that door. Snug fit at the moment, but it'll shrink. It'll shrink slightly, and in a couple weeks I expect it'll fit like a glove. And down there I've got a little fire going. I'll throw a chunk in every hour or two. And if I'm not sure yet if I'll do this or not, but I've got this piece of metal that I can put on top and act as a bit of a damper and heat deflector if I need it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not sure yet. But that's probably what I'll do at least part of the time, is because it will deflect the heat to some degree. And then here on the sides, all these, I've got those little grooves cut into all of those side. Then I can cut sticks or dowels or whatever have you, and lay them right in those grooves, and hang all my meat on them. I can reach up there wherever I need to and hang my stuff. So that's what that is. Pretty cool. I'm excited. What I'm going to do here at the moment right now is I've got, just noticed I missed a couple screws on the hinges here. I'll have to get that. What I am doing right at this moment is I'm going to set this back over here, and I've got some deer bacon, venison bacon, and it's not like turkey bacon, y'all. Venison bacon is 50% pork, 50% venison. Grind it together, add in your seasonings, all kinds of good stuff, secret ingredients, and then you lay it out on a tray like this. It's a really fine grind, like you want it to stick. You pack it in your pans really good, and then I'm going to lay it out on this stainless steel grate here. And part of my thought with having these groups so close together in here is that I can lay out multiple sticks, and then I can set trays on top of that if I've got things like cheese or like this venison bacon that needs to sit on a tray and can't hang from a hook. So that was my thought with that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to take this venison bacon, and this stuff was packed into the pans were lined with saran wrap, so this should just flip right out of here. And if they don't, I should be able to just tug on this saran wrap and bring it right out. Boing. Fantastic.
Float number one. Turn this with the carrot, I don't know if you can see it or not. Float number two. Smoke it, please.
Now most recipes call for nitrates, whatever, curing salt. To be used for venison bacon. I did not do that. My wife has a chip on her shoulder against using nitrate salts or curing salts, And to be honest, maybe I do a little bit myself. And even aside from that, I would like to learn how to do, or how to cure meats for the most part without using that kind of stuff. They did it for hundreds of years, so there's still ways to do it. It's just not as quick and efficient and easy as the curing salts are. So with this, I just packed it in there and then I kept it in the fridge. Like, it's been refrigerated for 2 or 3 days now. And then we'll smoke it, slice it, or smoke it, and then cook it, and then slice it, and then freeze it. And come wintertime, I guess it is wintertime now, but later on we'll just pull it out of the freezer, fry it in a pan, and eat it with our eggs and taters and whatever else for breakfast in the morning. There we've got that tray. Set that in here. Open you a little further. Open you a little further. Now, this right here is your major cuts out of the deer hindquarter that I have had soaking in a salt and molasses brine for about 48 hours. That is kind of it's primarily salt. It's got some garlic powder, molasses, and a couple other proprietary ingredients in the brine, but mostly salt. The idea is to salt cure it, and it's a heavy brine. It's been in there 48 hours. Now it's going to hang in the smokehouse all day, and probably some again tomorrow. And at the end of that time, it will have developed a nice hard crust, and we take it and we slice it into really thin, maybe 16th inch slices, and it makes excellent sandwich meat, crackers and cheese, what have you. So that's what this is. So we're going to grab this, jab a hook into it, and hang it up here. There we have it. Let me show you that beautiful goodness in there. It's all the venison bacon and what we used to call dried beef growing up. It's actually dried venison, but I think traditionally it was made with beef cuts. And there's a vent in the back and a vent here in the front. So I'm going to maybe grab a pecan chunk here. I'm going to add that to the fire, maybe 2 of them. some oak, and let's see, I've got some hickory down here. Hickory chomp. Okie doke. We shall have us a smoke. There it comes. Fun times. One thing I forgot to mention that I'm going to talk about real briefly here is my roof system. You can, so what I had in mind for the roof, or what I was going to do for the roof, and what I did for the roof, that is one single piece of 18 gauge galvalume. I had it sitting in the shop, thought why not use it. Used to be a metal roofer in a previous life, and so metal work is pretty natural to me. So I took some hand tongs and I bent all that up, and it'll never leak. My great grandchildren, whenever all this oak rots up, they'll take the roof off and put it on the next one they build, I guess. So, but it's galvalume, and so my concern was, I actually lost a little bit of sleep over this, trying to figure out how I was going to do that roof, because what I did not want to have happen is to have the galvalume start sweating or condensating and dripping water down on my meat. That does not exactly appeal to me. So what I ended up doing is, again, all oak, completely oak. I put in oak decking, solid the whole way across. And then I took 40-pound felt paper. I think it's 40 pound. It's pretty heavy. Again, just stuff I had in the shop. And I put that on top of that oak decking, so that if the galvalume, I don't know if the galvalume will sweat or not if it sits right on top of that oak decking. And it won't much, but if it does, that felt paper will carry it right down and it'll drip out. I'll still trim this out. I'll trim this out with something eventually. The reason I didn't put anything up there yet is because I'm not sure yet. Some of this wood is a little green, and I do not know. It fits really tightly now. I ran everything through the table saw, got nice straight edges, and it fits tightly now. There's very little smoke coming out. You've got some cracks, a couple places like that. That's almost an 1/8 inch wide, not quite. But for the most part, those are really tight fits, okay? But I was a little bit worried that once it dries out completely, that I might have too many gaps, and cumulatively it would reduce the amount of draw that I can pull once I had the wood stove set up. You want to have enough of a draw, just like a chimney, going that it pulls air through the stove, up through the flue, and it carries the smoke through the smokehouse and out these vent holes in the top. So if these cracks get too big and I have trouble drawing air through, then I will just get some old barn metal and I will cover this with metal. That is an option in the future, and until I know whether or not this is going to get covered with metal or not, I don't know if it gets metal, that gets J-channel up tight against the roof here. If not, if I end up leaving this oak, I'm just going to cut some oak trim 2 or 3 inches wide and run it all the way along the eaves to kind of finish that out. So just from a build standpoint, I wanted to explain that really quickly as well. Ta-da!